When the Sports Act 2013 was signed into law, it was expected that it would be the solution of sports funding in the country. The Act provided for creation of a national sports fund through a national sports lottery with an aim of funding national teams, clubs and sports personalities. However, 4 years since its inception, the concept remains an idea on paper.
The million-dollar question is, why don't we have a sports lottery? The answer is, the law that we have had in Kenya up to now supports betting, not lottery. Our request to the Ministry of Interior, stop registering all these thousands of betting companies.
Failure by the government to create a functional sports fund through a lottery has led to local sports federations and clubs to rely heavily on the private sector for funding, with betting firms facilitating a significant chunk of the sponsorships. Had the Sports Ministry implemented the initiative, then perhaps federations, clubs and sports personalities will not be heavily affected by the departure of sponsors such as SportPesa.
It is the clubs that feed the national team. So there will be no football at the national team and there will be no football at the club level. I don't see any club, particularly those other clubs that form the Kenyan Premier League, that have been struggling so hard. I don't see any of them really even making it, leave alone Gor Mahia making it to start the league, which is due in February.
Before SportPesa came, you are witnesses. I was suffocating. I was almost giving up on boxing. I was supporting boxing from my own small pocket.
The government, through the Sports Principal Secretary, Ambassador Peter Kaberia, has announced that it shall launch the National Sports Lottery before June this year, but until then, it wants the federations to submit their budgets.
Instead of a team telling us, oh, we've won and we are now going to represent Kenya in Kazakhstan next week, you try to look at the tickets, it's $1 million shillings or $500,000 shillings a piece. It's almost impossible to find the money for 30 people like this.
However, with the dominance of sporting games firms in Kenya that have already clouded the market, the move may have come too late. With the government unwilling to revise its taxation policy on gaming companies, it must act fast to prevent an impending funding crisis that will no doubt cripple sports activities in the country this year.
We're saying, let your funding be mainstream. Let it come through the ministry so that we know how much money did you make, how much have you given to good causes, and let us give you that certification.
With various continental and global competitions lined up in 2018, including the Commonwealth Games, sports federations in Kenya are eagerly waiting for the government to give them the green light to participate in such events. Seth Olale, NTV, Nairobi.